Hi, and welcome to WDWP.co. I'm Dave,
Chad.
and this is another podcast. Today, we're just going to be talking about a few things in the gaming world, a few other nerdy interests of ours, and just kind of bullshit for a little bit, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I guess first, I got some free games, amongst them Crimson Dragon. As you know, if you read, I'm a big Sega fan, so Panzer Dragoon was a big part of my life. So having Crimson Dragon on the system at all is huge. Having it.
That was back when Dreamcast was first out, right?
Well, Dreamcast, you had Saturn before that, Panzer Dragoon.
Okay.
So, I'm coming from not a huge lineage, obviously, because Saturn's not NES or anything. But going from there, then you had, I always wanted Saga, but anyway, Crimson Dragon's on this for free. Thank you, Microsoft. That's
Cheers.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That way, I get to play something I love, and I'm not exactly made of money. In case you're wondering, before we get too far, we're reporting from a different room with a new camera. So I wanted to mention that. Dave, I hear Fez.
Oh my gosh, which I've never had the privilege to play, but everyone that's brought that game up has said you need to buy this game.
Yeah.
And it's finally free for PS3 owners now, which is really cool.
That is awesome.
I have to download that immediately and play that. I still haven't gotten to that yet. The other one being, again, another PS3 title was Crysis 3, which I did play when it first came out. It wasn't great, very pretty game, very fun game, but to have it for free, just to play through it again, I'm really looking forward to that as well. That's it for the free games, I think, right now. At least the big ones that stick out in my mind.
There's always speculation as to what'll be next. I've heard for Xbox One, Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, and I really dig that.
Yeah.
Because I own it on 360 and I love it, but I don't really want to buy it again. And I want to see it.
That's right, you did buy it on 360.
Yeah, because the pirating is that awesome. I mean, I bought everything I needed. You know what I mean? You're supposed to go to different islands and find skins. I just made enough money to buy those skins in the store because of how many ships I would rob. I'd go in completely wanting to do a mission, and then just blow up a bunch of boats, and then cruise around listening to people. Your article's perfect on that.
Oh yeah, the sea shanties.
Yeah.
I loved getting lost at sea. You know what's funny? That even though we're talking about possibly being for free, I still haven't beaten it yet.
Oh no, me neither.
I mean, there's been so many other games that I've been playing, but that's a game I need to pop back in again.
Yeah,
just to get back through it.
Same here, but that's why free.
Free's awesome.
Yeah.
More of that.
Yeah.
What else recently, man?
Well, I guess just to tell everybody here, we're primarily a gaming site, but we have a lot of varied interest. Nerf guns, nerd stuff in general. We both like sports.
Yep. Football's almost here. We're down to 28 days. 28 days to go.
Hockey season's coming too. So, but anyway, both of us saw Guardians, and
it was awesome. It was so damn awesome. We
just
loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And I know it's an unfamiliar franchise.
It is. To the Marvel Universe, it's just
Yeah.
a bunch of random fucking characters thrown on the screen, and you just have no idea who everyone is at first.
Iron Man makes no appearance, which is odd for a Marvel movie. Let's face
Well,
it.
to not see or see any or hear any mention of any other superheroes.
Not even the Avengers in general.
Nope.
And the only connecting point right now would be Thanos.
Yeah, at the end of the Avengers.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, they're completely separate universes, which is awesome.
I gotta give a small little nod to, oh my gosh, Brolin. Josh Brolin for, we only got to see a minute or two?
Yeah.
Maybe not even over 5.
No,
A couple.
I mean, half of it he was turned. You know what I mean?
But
he wasn't gonna face
yeah,
it.
but oh, I guess we should have said
Spoiler
alert for
I was just
anyone watching this.
Anyway, anybody like us has probably already seen it, or if not, you've probably read about it. Let's face it. I saw the secret scene before the movie because it was online and I had to. I told Dave I wasn't going to. I told myself I wasn't going to.
You did anyway.
I was
the day before you saw it?
Search for knowledge. Search for knowledge. But what do you think of that? Howard the Duck? I think that's a little weird.
But I also heard that he's, an ambassador?
Yeah, for the Guardians.
The Guardians of the Galaxy?
So they could do that, but I was telling Dave, I think it's more of a nod to, in the 70s, Howard the Duck came out, looked awful like Donald Duck. So Disney sued him. Now Disney owns Marvel. It's the circle of life. But that's why I think they did it. And other than that, Cosmo, the dog at the end,
Yeah.
will run nowhere, hopefully, because he's like a telepathic dog, and I'm hoping they have somebody cool voice him. And you know what I mean? It could be like, do you think it'll be like the Never-Ending Story, or not the Never-Ending Story? Do you remember the dogs and the cat? It's like a bulldog-looking dog and another dog, and they make them talk, right? But they don't make their mouths move. They just do voices for them, like they're all telepathic.
What, do you mean like Homeward Bound?
Yeah, yeah.
Michael J. Fox as the dog and Sally Field.
Yeah, because it's kind of lame to make an animal that's just a dog. Like, he's not like Rocket. Rocket's a raccoon, and he's
Rocket will just talk trash the whole damn movie. I loved him. I don't know. That'd be really funny if they did. I think they have it in their budget where they could do something better than that.
I hope. So who's your favorite character from it?
From the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I'm thinking about like a good answer for this. I mean, personally, I'd have to give it to Rocket because I did not hear Bradley Cooper the whole movie.
No, it's
the whole movie. I just could not tell that was him.
It's like the Joker, you know what I mean? Like, could you see Heath Ledger in the Joker? Like
Same thing. Like, even though we only heard Bradley's voice,
but
to
still,
give Heath credit for his just amazing acting ability.
Of course.
Yeah.
But Rocket, I could not tell at all. And Groot, for the amount of words or the amount of time that he actually spent talking, was very impactful for me. Like, a lot of facial expressions and stuff got across in that piece of wood.
Yeah.
But him dancing at the end. I saw a thing on Reddit that, you remember those dancing flowers?
Yeah.
They had one of those on a box, and it had the soundtrack, and they're just like, you know, take my money. Shut up and take my money. With Fry. You know? But, because I would buy that. You know,
I would too.
The little group was dancing at the end.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
It was to, I want to say Michael Jackson. I forget what song it was.
Jackson 5. But
yeah.
I have the soundtrack then, which I legally purchased. But
yeah, I need that soundtrack.
I can give you credits to legally purchase as well.
This was the, what was it? Under the Amazing Mixtape, Volume 1.
Yeah. Well worth it. I mean, that and Weird Al's CD were two really worth it. But anyway, like, looking at the overarching thing.
Well, hold on. Like, who was yours? You asked me.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I really like Quill. Not to suck up, but, like, to me, Pratt, being from Parks and Recreation, which I love Parks and Recreation.
He's Andy.
Yeah.
But after you saw... you said it before when you saw this movie. I remember a few other people said it too. Like, he's not Andy. He's Star-Lord.
Yeah, he's definitely. But if I'm thinking about it, right, like the beginning, he's kind of an archaeologist, kind of Indiana Jones-ish, right? He's wearing these things, kind of like Han Solo. You know what I mean? And there's just a little bit of Andy, just
the way he has fun with it. As soon as he puts the headphones on and the music kicks in and the title splashes up on the screen.
But maybe that's him. That's what I like. Is I want Chris Pratt to do well, because I think he's a guy like us. You know what I mean? Who's, you know, obviously listen to Eminem if you haven't seen that YouTube video.
She just showed me earlier, which was awesome. The guy can rap. He's really, really good.
But he's like us. He listened to that so many times that he can
spit
just do it. So that's fine. And I want a guy like that to succeed, as opposed to. No offense to Tom Cruise, because I like Tom Cruise, but you have enough money, you know what I mean? You have enough fame. Let's face it, you're everywhere. Like, give Chris Pratt a try, you know what I mean? So, I'm looking forward to Guardians 2, and moving into that, I mean,
we got to talk about, we're wrapping up Phase 2 here.
Yeah.
We have, the only other one left we're waiting for is Avengers 2 next year.
Age of Ultron.
Which, that's probably the next biggest movie I'm waiting for.
Oh, totally.
But after that, we were looking ahead because Phase 2 is ending, so we're wondering, well, what was Phase 3? And we went through it, and it was Ant-Man with Paul Rudd, which...
you know, give him a
we'll
chance.
See.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I like Paul Rudd. He's a likable dude, too, you know, so give him a superhero try.
You always said, like, Heath Ledger and,
yeah,
you know, the movies he's done. But I also have to say, because I always forget this one, too, Chris Evans used to be in Not Another Teen movie. If you remember that movie. Yeah, he was the jock.
Man.
Yeah, that was him.
He's come a long way.
Exactly. So
I remember him as Human Torch. And when he was cast as Captain America, I was like, you can't do that. Give someone else a try to be a superhero. You're already the Human Torch, you know what I mean? But looking back, I'm like, oh, maybe he was just like, dude, I totally want to be a superhero, and I'm not a big star yet. And then Captain America came along, I'm like, Chad, what would you do? You'd be Captain America.
Of course.
Not that that'll ever happen.
It could happen, man. It can happen.
Oh, man. But, yeah, moving in. What else? We got Ant-Man. We got Cap 3. I wonder what Cap 3 is going to be about.
I think he's going to go after the Winter Soldier, for one.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, another spoiler alert for I mean, because we're just talking about, we should just call like that, like part of a tagline here, because we're
We'll
giving away a
definitely
lot
put it
here.
on there in the text before people get there.
But at the end of the Winter Soldier, which was a great movie, really loved that. How the Winter Soldier just gets away.
Oh yeah.
And he saves Cap.
Saved it.
too.
Yeah, he isn't
Yeah.
redeemed. You know what I mean? I think, and I don't want to interrupt you, but I think Winter Soldier is signed on for enough movies to make it overlapping with Captain and maybe taking over for Captain when Chris Evans wants to direct, I hear. So
Yeah, I could easily see that happening. And
Yep.
yeah, Evans has said that a lot, that he actually didn't want to sign on for this many Captain movies, but at the same time he's really enjoying them and doing a great job with them. So
Oh, yeah.
we got him for at least one more Avengers
one more Avengers, one
and
more
one
Captain.
more Cap.
Yeah, and is there a third one? I thought he was like three more, maybe two more. Sorry.
I don't know. Yeah, good question.
But,
I mean, yeah.
I mean, he's doing a great job. Robert Downey Jr., I'm going to miss him too because inevitably he's going to retire as Iron Man, and then what are they going to do with Iron Man?
No, they
They can't make it.
yeah. Before I say anything else, like no one else will be
No,
Iron Man.
Please don't do that.
No.
Like, you can make War Machine,
Sure,
you know?
I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was going to be, well, Terrence Howard before he fucked
Yeah,
up.
what's up with that, man?
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
He got paid more money on the first one than like anybody.
'Cause he,
but
like,
Robert
demanded
Downey.
it.
Yeah, like, but he's nobody.
And Downey was
like
the
that.
one that, what was it? I think it was the Avengers movie. Before it even happened, he wanted to make sure everyone else was properly compensated.
See? That's a
And
good guy, man.
That's the difference. Well, no offense to Terrence Howard, but,
Yeah.
I mean, no one else will be Iron Man again, man. Nobody else. But after Ant-Man, then we have
Well, Cap 3.
Cap 3. Then
And
we
then
have
Doctor Strange. is
Doctor
rumored,
Strange,
which
which
is
no one's cast yet.
it's gonna happen.
But it looks like it's going to happen.
October.
And then we have Guardians 2, and that's it.
Oh yeah, Guardians 2, man. Tell me you can't wait for that. Like,
It's so far away.
I don't want to think about it. I think about it every time I turn on my phone because I got Groot and Rocket.
I know. I still have them on my background too, just all of them.
We're just screwing ourselves by doing that.
It's because we have to see it again.
Now I want the DVD. Like they should make it so if we buy a movie ticket and they have a way to prove that we bought a movie ticket or something, and I can trade it in for a digital legal copy. You know what I
We
mean?
should get it early. Like, it's going to take them a little bit to
Yeah,
make the movie.
like you can.
But if you could
Yeah.
get it in theaters for like 2-3 months,
Yeah, that's fine.
and then say, here, we watch this, and even if it was a discounted price.
That's fine. I'll pay money for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I would buy it right now. If you want to sell it to me right now for $15, what's that? 50 cents cheaper than the movie cost me to buy it singularly, like in the theater. Jokingly, but honestly, it's like $12. Like
Depending if you see it in IMAX or not, which I did.
Gravity was $30. $30 for 2
I would have
hours.
paid $30.
It was neat because it was like, hey, I'm floating in space with Sandra Bullock, who, spoiler alert, you didn't watch that, never mind, I'm not going to do it.
Thank you. I'll get to it. Just, I know.
It's just not realistic, let's leave it at that. But anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy finishes that off. And then, I mean, the big thing to talk about after that, I guess, would be DC's thing with the 9 new movies.
Gosh.
Well,
Well,
I don't know who. What are they gonna do? Aquaman and. I mean, Wonder Woman has to have one, right? Superman's gonna get a part 2.
Well, not that it was confirmed, but we left him out. I don't know how they're going to squeeze him in. Wait, Spider-Man's still Marvel, right?
Spider-Man's owned by Sony, so it's not technically MCU.
But we're not going to get into the same universe. We might not get any
Unless
crossovers there.
Sony realizes, or which they won't, because it's unless they're like, they're not making money for us anymore, and decide to dump off Spider-Man on Marvel. Which, unless Marvel offered them an astronomical amount of money, which let's face it, in another 5 years they might be able to do.
It'd be crazy.
Like,
Because doesn't Spider-Man actually have some bit?
with Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you know what I mean? I would love to see it, but they would have to pay so much money to do it. And then X-Men the same way. I mean, they don't own the rights to it, so having Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch is the only crossover we're gonna get with that. In fact, I just read something. So they had to cut a bad guy. Like the bad guys in Guardians were those weird looking dudes, right?
Yeah.
Originally they had it cast as these huge guys, like they have robot, like machine looking things in front of them that shoot these huge lasers out front. They were awesome looking. But there was some conflict because in the X-Men universe that is owned by Fox,
Yeah.
they own the rights to these aliens so that Marvel cannot use these aliens, and they had to change them to those weird looking drone guys, which is another group of aliens, but they weren't so much in the story. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't even know all
It's
that.
so convoluted, it's weird. But the big thing that I wanted to talk about here with superheroes wise is Dave does not consider Batman a superhero.
I just...
Tell the internet that you don't think Batman.
What I said was, and we had like a little bit of a longer conversation after this, because you asked me another question, which we'll end with later, but you said, so who do you think is the best superhero? And I think you had, not that he is for you, that he might be, but whatever, we'll come back.
Okay.
You said Batman, and I said, well, I don't consider Batman to be a superhero. And the look on your face, like...
Who says that? That's like JFK wasn't a great president.
And all I said was, and it's a big combination of things,
FDR.
but if you had $1 billion, and if you had like 10 plus years of martial arts training, and if you had a huge ass like family like crisis or tragedy, like anybody could be Batman. Anybody could throw on the cape and the mask and go out there and do it.
If you were rich, right?
You'd have to qualify for all three.
Okay,
You'd have to.
Say I'm rich, right?
You're okay.
And I'm being taken hostage by like terrorist dudes in the desert, right?
Okay.
And I'm smart enough to build a suit for myself to launch myself out of the desert and fly away. And I'm Iron Man. Is Iron Man not a superhero?
That's a very smart dude in a metal suit, but...
He has no superpowers?
But
he's
no,
a rich guy.
Coming back to that, because we also said about Iron Man, and I said, well, the first iteration wouldn't count because it blew up anyway. It fucking sucked.
Yeah, I mean, but he escaped.
But he did escape, and he went back, and due to what happened to him, made the suit anyway. Mm-hmm. And after several other movies, made it even better and better and better.
It's awesome now.
So I also said that, I guess... sounding corny as shit. It's putting on the suit is what makes you a superhero.
That's the theme of Batman.
I mean, technically, I could go fucking do it if I met those qualifications, but I'm not rich. I do not have 10 years of martial arts training.
Or more.
And I did not have a serious tragedy or family, whatever happened to me. So, no, I can't qualify.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Batman.
But even Iron Man, too. I mean, he was
Man
blown up. But, and then he had all that shit going into his heart.
Yeah.
And then he had an operation performed on him to stop that shit from happening.
He had to think of something to make it, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to discredit Iron Man.
But I mean, if anything, he meets qualifications too. Tragedy,
the same.
money.
Iron Man is Batman in Marvel Land. That's what it is.
He didn't have the training, but he had the suit.
That's
because he had the smarts to build it.
Now, the thing is, like, okay, without their suits, man oh man, Batman would kick the shit out of...
Of course he would. He would beat the shit out of Tony Stark, even though I love him.
It wouldn't be fair at all.
It'd be really funny to see.
But, yeah, dude, I think Batman is my favorite superhero. The only reason I'm saying is, like, think about who can beat Batman. Who can beat Batman?
Anyone that has gone through that shit.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
done that
Superman
shit.
Can't beat him. He's tried multiple times.
Superman's an alien, though.
Well, okay, who else? And the only thing I could think of when we were discussing this earlier was, what? Darth Vader?
He's not a superhero.
No, I'm saying, like, can anything beat Batman?
Can anything beat Batman?
Anybody in the nerdverse in general can they beat Batman? Maybe Doomsday, right? Because the more damage you do to Doomsday, the worse it is. But
or what about that other guy? Like, I mean, to go like Big Pig, like Galactus.
Galactus. Here's the thing. Here's what I think of with Batman, though. Can we think of a way to beat it? For example, T-1000 seems invincible, right? How do you beat T-1000? Dunk him in molten metal, right? We know that. Therefore, Batman knows that and can beat T-1000. if we know that and we're not nearly as smart as Batman, Batman is already aware of that, right? That's my logic going into that argument.
I mean, but would Batman have enough knowledge or comprehension to understand the weaknesses and vulnerabilities of a ultimate supervillain?
Like Galactus?
Yeah.
Or maybe one of the Celestials had like a beef with Batman.
Yeah.
Like at that point, I think Batman just being a human would be crushed. Right? Because Galactus could just go, oh, you're on Earth?
That's it. Like, I mean, that's one exception, I guess.
Yeah,
like, if there's someone so big and so powerful, even Batman can't stop them.
Yeah.
That's where you would need a team or other superheroes coming together.
I wonder, do you think Ant-Man could grow as big as like a Celestial or a Galactus? Because his power is to grow big or small, but I don't know.
I don't know. That's huge.
That's another thing entirely. But, there we go. Huh. Everything's working, see? Like I said, not to cause an infinite loop, but we can monitor this. It's kind of cool. Anyway.
But, oh yeah, like, and you still ask me that question, like, if I had to pick, like, my favorite superhero, yours was Batman. Like, just one?
Yeah, don't pick one, narrow it down. And I'm not saying you have to pit them against the rest of the superheroes, but, like, if you were to look up to one thing, if you were 6 years old again, who would you look up to?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's a good guy to do.
Yeah, I actually, yeah. Because we had this conversation like a week ago, too, and I remember I went home that night, and I thought about The Amazing Spider-Man 2 again. And I thought about, even though Tobey doesn't hold a candle to Andrew, in my opinion, that even through all those movies, and the gay third one, sorry, stupid third one.
Always happens.
But Spider-Man was always my guy. Like, he was always that guy that stood for good. And that same old mantra, with great power comes great responsibility.
Excellent thing.
Has standing, I don't know, like, with me for many years, man. Even since, like, the cartoon back in, I want to say the 90s, when I was a kid growing up. Yeah. Yeah.
I did like that. He was a smart ass in that cartoon. I was going to say Alec. I'm like, why am I limiting myself? Like, but yeah, I like that one. On Fox, you mean?
Yeah.
With the Green Goblin and everything? Or
Yeah,
Hobgoblin?
Hobgoblin, Lizard,
And the guy,
Doc Ock.
in the wheelchair. Remember that big wheelchair that was with a kingpin?
Oh,
He was in like, I think he turned into something later, but he was always in that big, like, it was like Professor X's yellow wheelchair, only like 3 times as long that way. And I never understood what it was for, because it was not like it had rockets or anything.
I can't remember, man. I know exactly what you're talking about, though.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we get in the movies, it gets crazy. I wanted to say that one, too. Like, what's your favorite superhero movie?
Favorite superhero movie?
Yeah.
You go first, man.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. That's a good one. That's hard to contest, that one. We were just talking about that several times.
The Avengers, I think, aren't they different kind of movies? You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
the Avengers and Dark Knight? Well, the
drama.
Dark Knight's more like, yeah, it's drama, it's serious, and it's like it's also a lengthy movie, but it's more about a lot of shit.
Story-driven,
yeah,
moment-driven. Avengers is like, let's do this, ba-bam! You know what I mean?
It's like S.H.I.E.L.D.'s getting attacked, and we gotta go get these people, and then they go get those people, and they all come together, and...
So, I agree with you there, then, if you're gonna, you know what I mean?
I don't know if I... Favorite superhero movie, because if you say the Avengers, to me, that's like a cop-out, because there's so damn many.
Well, you mix them all together.
But, yeah, it's like a collection, if you're talking about, like...
Alright, you want to narrow it down to Marvel? What's your favorite Marvel movie?
Favorite Marvel movie?
Now, that does include The Punisher, and any in the Marvel universe, not the MCU per se. MCU is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, I wouldn't... I love The Punisher, but...
That movie was excellent.
I can't give it to him because he used popsicle. And The Punisher wouldn't fucking do that.
Yeah, he would have just shot that dude.
Yeah. Or he would have put a knife in there and just kind of drug it down slowly, or twisted it.
Yeah.
He might have shot
really
in one parts of his
torch.
body. Yeah, or really use a torch, yeah. But you still haven't seen Warzone, by the way.
No, I have to watch
You need
that.
to do that.
Alright.
Gosh, you know what? I'll say it again. I've watched a lot of these too, but that other time that we were talking about The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and how you went to see it for the first time.
Yeah. And I fell asleep.
And you fell asleep?
Look, it wasn't on the movie. I was tired. I had gotten up at like 4 in the morning. Like,
again, like, huge spoiler alert, but
you
woke up
right then.
Right at the end.
She's like falling like this,
falling
right?
at the end.
Like, and I'm like, oh, Gwen Stacy's fucking falling. You know what I mean? And Spider-Man's like...
Yeah, and you even see like the hand like coming out to get her.
Yep. And that's when I woke up.
And that's when you woke up.
Man, like, I missed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because to me, you missed everything else that built up ahead of that.
Wait till the DVD comes out legally on sometime.
Soon, next few months maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But all the little things that happened along the way, and Spider-Man was already a little bit older. He went through the first one. He went through the growing pains.
Fought the lizard.
Yeah, it was just great.
Yeah.
But to see him again and to see him in that city, the way other heroes had been before, like Superman or like Batman, but with Spider-Man, he was one of them. When he walked the kid home after being bullied, or when he was trying to talk down Electro before shit went down, everything with Gwen and the promise he made to her father on his dying breath pretty much in the end of the first one,
Yeah.
and the promise that he broke several times anyway, knowing it was wrong, and seeing his ghost everywhere pretty much, and eventually breaking it off, but her coming back anyway.
Man.
Anyway, because she just loved him so damn much, and he loved her. And then pretty much as soon as all this stuff happened, and you can feel it, I can still see it, when they were standing on top of that bridge. And I just knew. I knew it was coming before anyone else around me did, unless they were a serious fan. Like, when she fell, like, I was trying not to lose it. Like, I had the manly tear going down. I did. I did in the theater. I was looking around like, no one's got to see this, man.
Because they're all watching her die.
And as soon as I heard that snap when she hit the ground, like, my heart dropped. Like, it was, to me, just one of the most powerful scenes I've seen in recent movie history. And it also going to stand with Peter until he meets MJ.
Yeah, which is the next movie, right?
Believe so.
Yeah.
But to me, out of recent memory, if it was just a particular superhero, and for my affinity for Spider-Man, I would say The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay. You know, like New York scenes where you're saying he's part of the city and everything, my two scenes that I think of are, do you remember when, I think it was the Dr. Octopus one, which is my favorite.
In Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, the other Spider-Man 2, which was only a few years ago, mind you.
Yeah, it was. It was.
But where he's stopping the train.
Yes.
And he's like passed out, right?
That was another really, really good
and
one.
then like pass him up and over, you know what I mean? Or where he's like down and out, right? Fighting the Green Goblin under the bridge. And the Green Goblin's gonna like do the finishing blow and that thing hits him on the side of the head.
Yeah.
And the guy up there's like, you mess with one of us, you mess with
It's
all of us.
Yeah, and they're all throwing shit at him. Yeah.
So like I like those scenes, but that's a different universe. Like I like both of them. I think.
I guess because not only was he part of the city too, but the shit that he went through as well during the whole course of that movie. Like he went through a lot of struggles too. I think he's going to go through even more when he has more villains and shit thrown at him.
I want to see Dr. Octopus in the new one.
Yeah, that's another side mention. The other movie's coming out, confirmed, Venom.
Oh yeah, the side movie.
Well, they're also saying it might be Venom.
Yeah, don't get you
and
Carnage. Yeah.
What I read is 2017.
Don't get you hooked
I already saw the name. I saw the name.
No, I'm just saying. Wait for
Yeah.
Venom.
Yeah. We'll look it up after this, but yeah.
Is it alright?
It's coming.
No, what do you mean? No, I mean you saw who's playing.